The first time Kael saw her, the station lights flickered like the stars were holding their breath. He was unloading crates of alloy from the hauler's pride, sweat sticking to his neck under the recycled air, when the corridor's chatter suddenly dimmed. Even the hum of the transport rails seemed to hush. That's when she appeared, moving slow like she was afraid of taking up too much space. An alien girl. Her skin shimmered faintly in hues of violet and silver, like oil over water. Her eyes were too large, too still. But it wasn't her look that made everyone recoil. It was the scent. Hit like a wave. Dark, wheat, almost metallic. People grimaced, whispering. Some pulled their collars over their noses. Kael watched as she carried her bundle of rations past them, her gaze fixed on the floor. A small blue tag around her neck blinked. Refugee, species, Lyrian. No one spoke to her. No one wanted to. The Lyrians had come from the broken moons of Othra, a dying world after the mining wars. The humans had offered them sanctuary on paper. In truth, they were scattered across colonies, tolerated but not welcomed. Most people said they reeked of chemical decay, a byproduct of their blood composition. Kael didn't care much for gossip, but he'd seen her several times since that first day, buying recycled clothes at the corner booth, sitting alone in the canteen, always by the wall vent where the airflow was strongest. And that scent. It wasn't pleasant. Not exactly. But it stirred something in him. Something faint, almost nostalgic. He couldn't place it until the third week, when he walked past her in the maintenance corridor, and it struck him again. Not metal. Not decay. Rain. It smelled like rain on red soil. Just like the storms back on Earth before he'd left for the colonies. He stopped mid-stride, turning to look at her. She froze, her hands tightening around the small ration pack she carried. "You dropped this," he said, even though she hadn't. Her eyes flickered up, uncertain. "I did not." "I know." He smiled a little. "But it's a good excuse to say hi." She blinked slowly, as if translating his words in her head. Then, almost reluctantly, she took the non-existent object and nodded. "Thank you. Human. Kael." He pointed to himself. "You can call me Kael." Her lips curved slightly. "Then thank you, Kael." After that he saw her more often. Her name was Nira. She'd been a translator on her home moon before it was bombed into ruin. Her people's colonies had been wiped out, and now she worked in the station's lower decks, maintaining oxygen filters. They spoke during breaks, short exchanges at first. She was careful, measured. Her voice was musical, like water vibrating in glass. Kael learned she loved the old Terran songs they sometimes played on the broadcast system, especially the ones about rain. She'd never seen it herself, only heard descriptions. "I read that rain is cold," she said one day, when they sat by the observation glass overlooking the cargo docks. "But also cleansing." Kael smiled faintly. "Yeah. It smells like the world starting over again." She looked at him curiously. "That's how you describe my scent." He hesitated. "I didn't mean." "I know," she interrupted softly. "Others think it is rot. But you think it is home." He looked away, embarrassed. "Guess I miss the smell of rain more than I thought." Word spread fast after that. People began whispering in the corridors. A human spending time with the Lyrian girl. Some laughed. Some scowled. Kael ignored them, until one night, when 3 dockhands cornered him behind the cargo bay. "She's got you under her scent, huh?" one sneered. "They say it messes with your head. That alien musk. Chemical manipulation or something." Kael didn't flinch. "You done reading conspiracy boards?" The man shoved him. "Just saying you might want to stop cozying up before command starts asking why." Kael's jaw tightened. "You gonna make me?" The fight was short, ugly, and ended with Kael bleeding from his lip and the other guy with a broken wrist. The next morning, command suspended him for conduct unbecoming of a crewman. When Nira found out, she came to his quarters, guilt clouding her expression. "You fought because of me." He wiped the blood from his mouth. "I fought because they were idiots." She stepped closer, her scent filling the small room. "You could have stayed away. Everyone else does." "I'm not everyone else." For a long moment they stood in silence. Then she whispered, "You should not risk yourself for me." He looked at her, really looked. "Maybe I already did." A few days later, the alarm blared through the station. An oxygen line had ruptured in the lower decks. Fire suppression failed. Several Lyrian workers were trapped, and toxic fumes filled the corridor. Kael didn't hesitate. He grabbed a respirator and dove into the smoke. The metal floor burned his boots, sparks raining from the ceiling. He found Nira among the trapped workers, her arm bleeding from a falling pipe, her breathing ragged. "Kael," she gasped. "You shouldn't." "Save it," he coughed, throwing his jacket over her. "We're getting out." He tried dragging her toward the hatch, but her knees buckled. "The controls must reroute oxygen manually." She pointed to the console on the far wall, flames licking around it. "If not, the whole deck." "Don't," he warned. "You'll die." "So will everyone else," she whispered. Before he could stop her, she tore free and sprinted through the smoke. He swore, running after her. She slammed her glowing hand onto the interface, her alien biochemistry syncing with the system. The lights flickered, oxygen rerouted. Then the panel exploded. Kael reached her just in time to drag her out before the fire consumed the corridor. Later in the medbay, she lay pale beneath the sterile light. Her arm was wrapped in nanobandages, her breathing shallow but steady. Kael sat beside her, exhaustion sinking deep into his bones. When her eyes fluttered open, he grinned weakly. "You really don't know how to follow orders." Her lips twitched. "Neither do you." He reached for her hand. It was cool, smooth. "You saved them. The whole deck." "I did what was right." He paused, voice faint. "They still will not like me." "Maybe not." He squeezed her hand gently. "But I do." Her gaze softened. "Why?" "Because every time I breathe near you, I remember Earth. The smell of rain. The feeling that life can begin again, even after everything burns." Her eyes shimmered with something between wonder and sorrow. "Then perhaps I am not so unwanted after all." Weeks passed. Kael's suspension was lifted after the report confirmed he'd helped rescue the trapped crew. Nira was transferred to a safer post, assistant to the chief engineer, who'd quietly admired her courage. But still people whispered. Still, the air shifted when she entered a room. Only now, some paused a little longer before turning away. One night, Kael and Nira stood by the viewport again, watching the cargo ships drift toward the stars. "Do you miss your home?" she asked. "Every day," he admitted. "But maybe home isn't a place anymore." She tilted her head. "Then what is it?" He smiled. "Someone who makes you feel like you can start over." She looked down, then up at him. Her eyes caught the starlight, silver and endless. "Then perhaps I remind you of home." "You do," he said quietly. And when she leaned closer, that scent filled the air again. Sharp, sweet, alien, yet achingly familiar. The scent of rain on red soil. Of beginnings. Of home.